So it's been an amazing couple of days in Seattle. I've just come out of the follow-up advanced workshop of Joe Dispenza, and um, it's really hard to describe the experience through language. You could say I've had a mystical experience, and it's even now trying to get the words out. It takes a little getting used to. So there was lots of information, lots of meditation, and finally a hell of a lot of transformation. So one of the things that kept coming up in the feeds on Facebook and in the chat rooms and all that sort of stuff after the event is how great people had experiences they had, which you hope they would, and also that a lot of experiences very confronting for people. So one of the things that keeps echoing when I do these workshops, not with just Joe's stuff, but when you're going through any type of transformation, um, you know, there needs to be an adjustment period. Even myself last night needed a good night's sleep because at the end of the day, fatigue just hit me because I've been working so hard on changing my neurology and my physiology and warping time-space reality that, I just needed to cool the jets for a little while and reboot the system so all those changes could really embed themselves in my new physiology, my new neurology, my new reality, and just basically have a rest and then update the system. So I was reading on Facebook today that some people have been getting scared during their meditations because the changes are happening so rapidly and so quickly, and that it's an unfamiliar experience, and that they don't really know what's going on, and everyone seems to have lots of opinions and what it could be, and if you don't have the foundation of the philosophy and the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to accept those changes, it can be one of those experiences where you may want to walk away from this type of work. Hopefully not. So what I would like to say to that is that there's two metaphors that I can think of that I think most people can identify with, and one is like when you're going to say you want to lose a bit of weight, or you want to tone up, or you want to get fit, and you decide you're going to go to the gym. The idea is, when you get into it, is not to work in the gym 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, for the first 6 months without any breaks. Your body's going to go into shock, and it's not going to deal with the transition very well, and it could lead to injury. If we were to do this and see this in people going to the gym, we'd say, what are you doing? Slow down. You're going to kill yourself, Not literally kill yourself, but it doesn't have to be so stressful. And one of the keys to all this work is it's supposed to be easy and effortless. You're not supposed to be actually doing anything. You're supposed to be experiencing and being the new self. And that takes, a little working out, a little tinkering over time, a little refining. And you should be kind and tender-hearted to yourself to give yourself that time to adjust and to be your new self bit by bit, And the second metaphor is if anyone's ever been diving in the ocean, there is a lot of things you need to consider. First you need to consider, the kind of equipment you're going to be using, and it's all got to fit well, and it's got to be comfortable, and you may need to buy a few different masks to get the one that doesn't leak and it doesn't fog up and it fits your face comfortably, or you might need to get the right snorkel. I personally myself have been through 8 snorkels before I finally found a snorkel that didn't gurgle and didn't make me panic under the water while I was trying to breathe, and was comfortable and sat on the right side of my face. And then you need to get yourself the right wetsuit and that's comfortable and it's not going to restrict you, and you don't notice it when it's on, and it keeps you warm enough but it's not too warm. And then you need, the right fins that have the right flexibility and don't kill your ankles and your legs and your back, and and they fit right and they're not squeezing your feet and all that sort of stuff. So it takes a while to adjust to all these things. Like when you're in meditation, are you comfortable in a sitting meditation? Do you want to do a walking meditation? Do you want to do a standing meditation, a lying down meditation, eyes open, eyes closed? Where do you want to do it? Do you want to do it in nature? Do you want to do it at home? All these questions, you need to give yourself time to try them all out and adjust into them and find what works for you, because whatever works for you is going to be the right method for you, and that's when you're going to get the most benefit out of this. So the other thing that kept coming up is people rushing home after events or traveling immediately back home, on long flights, and this really kind of erodes the after effect of the experience. For me, like, I'm in Seattle here, I'm in my hotel room, and I'm not really doing a whole lot of stuff. I'm just sort of adjusting and decompressing like a diver would after diving really deep into the void, into the vastness of space. You need to give yourself time to adjust, because if you come out of it too fast, this is my opinion, if you come out of it too fast, too quickly, and you go straight back into your environment straight away, then you're going to be confronted with all the triggers that are in your external world that reactivate all those parts of your brain and your neurology that you've just worked so hard to change. And because maybe you haven't dealt with all the emotional charge to those memories and those emotions, you're going to slip back into who you used to be. And that can be really sad, and that's the experience we all are scared of experiencing, is going back into our past selves again. And I do that too. I was on the phone the other night back home going, I feel, I don't know what's going on. I'm not feeling that great. I felt really good this morning, but now I'm like down here and my energy's dropped. I think it's just the old parts of myself coming back and trying to reassert themselves. So in that time, that's a great time to not meditate again and try and, push yourself through it, but maybe take a break, go do something different, and you have a new experience, walk down a new street, go to a new park, a beach, something like that. Or maybe you just need sleep, which is what I did. Or maybe you need to feed your body or drink more water. One of the key parts of information that I took out of the workshop, which Joe said, was that, when you're operating at these higher frequencies, you need more water to be more conductive. It's like an electromagnetic signal. If there's no water in your system, it's hard to conduct that flow of frequency. So if you're anything like me after, sport especially, but in our situation, meditation, then you're going to be thirsty. Like I feel dehydrated, I'm drinking, and then I'm going to the toilet and I'm still thirsty. And it's because, not only are you conducting this high frequency, but as you start to elevate into this new higher frequency, you're going to be flushing out all the stuff that you are not anymore. So all that neurology that's changing has like a waste product in my mind, and you start cleaning house, and all that stuff starts to come out of you, and that is in the form of, it might be toxins in your skin, it might be, sweating it out, it might be just emotions coming through, it might be old memories coming to the surface. It's all those things. So you got to remember, you're adjusting through all this, and that process is part of it. It's part of your process. It's what's meant to be happening. But if you're not familiar with it, then it can be scary. So realize that there's this wave happening to you in the process of change, and sometimes you'll be up peaking and sometimes you'll be down troughing. But as masters of ourselves, and when we understand this process of up and down through change, then we can just sort of ride the wave and know that, yeah, okay, we're down here now, but we'll come back up again. And if we're up here, we're going to enjoy it as much as we can. And then when it starts coming down, we're not going to freak out. We're just going to ride the crest down, because that's going to help clear away everything that we're not anymore. And then we're going to come back up again into a new space, in a new time, in a new body, in a new mind, and it's all good, So I hope this helps. This is just my thoughts on the subject, my experience. But what's yours? Check it out. Ask yourself what you're experiencing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Notice those things, because that to me is what we should be paying attention to, as well as our future.